Did Ivan Toney send subtle hints that he wants to join Arsenal? Yes, people, welcome back to another Arsenal transfer news video. As always, if you want to be kept up to date with daily Arsenal transfer news vids, this is the place where you have to subscribe down below on my road to 5,000 subscribers, and importantly, hit the bell notification button so you never miss a future video on this channel. And please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section regarding Ivan Toney and his potential move to Arsenal. Let's get straight into the tweet brought today by aftv, and it's a quote from the Steven Bartlett Diary of a CEO podcast, of which I watched the whole podcast, by the way. All 1 hour, 45 minutes. Absolute brilliant watch. And in that podcast, I can verify it was true. He said, from young, I've liked Arsenal. For the whole story, basically, Steven Bartlett was teasing the whole time about how he wants him to join Manchester United, because Steven Bartlett's a Man United fan. And he asked him, who did you support growing up? And Ivan Toney said, he didn't even have to mention Arsenal, he said, I supported Liverpool growing up. But from young, I've always liked Arsenal. He liked the style of play, and he liked the fans. Now, that alone doesn't say an awful lot. He likes Arsenal. I mean, a lot of people liked Arsenal growing up. Look at our team, man. Henry, Bergkamp, Vieira. We had the streets. Everyone loved Arsenal growing up. Let's be real about it. Unless you're a Tottenham or United fan. But regardless, he didn't need to say that. All he could have said is, I just supported Liverpool growing up. But he had to mention Arsenal. But that's not all. During that podcast, he also said that he's spoken to Thomas Frank and Brentford. And he told them that if he wants to get a move to a big club, and if a big move come into him, if a big club come in for him, he doesn't want them to stand in his way of moving on with his career. So he's made it apparent that he feels he's ready to take that next step up. Now, Ivan Toney does strike me as a man that is always looking to progress. He's never going to settle. He had so many setbacks in his career, as he showed in that podcast, that he could have easily quit football. But he doesn't. He's relentless. He's always trying to get to the top. And last season, despite the fact he missed the last 5 games, despite the fact he was in the Brentford team, he scored 20 Premier League goals. That is an absolutely outrageous stat. So massive congratulations to him. He's looking like a top striker and he's going from strength to strength. Now, we know Arsenal are in the market for a striker. And we know Arsenal have looked at Ivan Toney in the past. Is it time Arsenal now go back in for Ivan Toney next summer? Now, talks on Arsenal do have a shortlist and are looking to sign a striker next summer. Evan Ferguson's on that list, Victor Osimhen's on that list, and Ivan Toney potentially as well. Now, the betting allegations surrounding Ivan Toney could lower his market price, but by January he'll be back and playing football. He's already going to be able to train in September time, and he's obviously said that he regrets the decisions he made, and he's learned from it, and hopefully doesn't go through that again. But it will no doubt lower his market value, even if it is just a smidgen. And I do think Ivan Toney is the perfect type of player for Arsenal. Now, I came out on the record and I said, it was a bit tongue-in-cheek saying this, I said that I believe Harry Kane would be the perfect striker for Arsenal. Now, I understand he was at Tottenham at the time, and there was a very little chance he would go from Tottenham to Arsenal, especially not as a transfer fee, because Tottenham and Arsenal have not done a deal since the 1970s. Now, him coming as a free transfer, I mean, Sol Campbell's done it in the past, so anything's possible. But I think even Harry Kane would not do that. I think he would have at least whatever ounce of respect he had for the Tottenham fan base. He would not go to Arsenal. I mean, he didn't even want to go to Chelsea United. He ended up going to Bayern Munich. What's the second best player to Harry Kane? You could say Evan Ferguson, in the sense that he's looking like Harry Kane type player. His build, his physique, the way he plays football. But that man's still very young. He's still in his teenage years. There's no chance, well, there's a chance, but it's a very slim chance that he turn out to be the same type of player as Harry Kane. That's a very big risk. Then I'd look at Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney, who's physically gifted. The man will hold up the play. He's built like an ox, man. Strong as an ox. He's someone that's got the link-up play. He's done brilliantly with Brian Mbeumo already. He's someone that has proven can score goals. 20 goals in the Premier League season is fantastic. And an array of goals with his head, with his right foot, left foot, penalties, set pieces in general. The man will score all types of goals. And I think he's an Arteta-type striker. Arteta does not... I don't think Arteta likes an Nketiah or Jesus type strikers. I don't think that's his type of game. He wants strikers that can link up play, but I think he also wants strikers that got a bit of a presence to them. That's probably one of the reasons he signed Kai Havertz. Now, Kai Havertz is not a clinical finisher. I think everyone can appreciate that. But what Kai Havertz has given Arsenal in his first few games is the ability to hold up the ball and get others involved. Now, if you pair up Kai Havertz's ability to hold up the ball with a top-class finisher, then you're looking at someone that can really get Arsenal moving into the title pole position. Because right now, despite the fact we almost won the title last season, and our title challenges again this season, in my opinion, we still haven't displaced the mighty beast, which is Man City. They still reign top of the tree. But having a top clinical striker like Ivan Toney up front could really be that signal that Arsenal needs to really displace him. So look, it's moving in the right direction if Arsenal were to get a move over the line. The good thing about Arsenal right now is we're an attractive proposition for many teams. And I couldn't have said that for genuinely the past 10 years. Right now, barring Man City, we are probably one of the best teams you can go to in the Premier League. And the Premier League is already one of the biggest leagues in the world, and it's grown massively over the past few seasons, completely blown out of the water La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, Liga, and etc. To the point now where Players would rather move to a relegation-threatened Premier League side than a mid-table La Liga side at times. That's the stark contrast now because everyone wants to play in the Premier League. So to not only move to the Premier League, I know Ivan Toney's already in the Premier League, but to not only be in the Premier League, right, but to then play one of the top caliber Premier League sides, fighting in the Champions League, fighting for the Premier League title, living in London, playing for a young manager and young team that's up and coming. I mean, it just ticks all the boxes right now for Arsenal Football Club. So if we were to go in for Brentford's Ivan Toney, I'm sure Ivan Toney will say, look, I want this move to happen. And I think Thomas Frank, being as decent human he is, because he does strike me as a very good man, Thomas Frank, I don't think he would stand in the way. I think he would say, okay, Ivan, I appreciate everything you've done for Brentford, but we'll allow you to move on. Look, Ivan Toney's a brilliant professional, but there's no doubt about it that if he ends his career at Brentford, he would be very disappointed. Nothing against Brentford. Brentford are fantastic. And in my opinion, I think their transfer policy and what they've done since coming up to the Premier League 2 seasons ago has been nothing short of remarkable. They deserve a lot of plaudits, and many football clubs should be studying what Brentford have done to get this position, alongside Brighton as well. Them two clubs, the way they run is absolutely fantastic. But if Ivan Toney ends his career at Brentford, I think he will be very disappointed. I think he yearns for a bigger move. And in that podcast with Steven Bartlett, as I mentioned already, Diary of a CEO, I implore you to watch it if you haven't already, by the way. It's a fantastic podcast. He strikes me as a man that's got ambition and a man that wants to get to the top and win trophies, both for England and for club level as well. And I think if he makes a move to Arsenal, he believes he can win trophies there. So I think he's dropping subtle hints. I think Ivan Toney would want the move to Arsenal, 100% believe it. I can read between the lines there. It's now about if Arsenal can make this move happen. A lot of players would want this Arsenal move, but if Arsenal are willing to put down the cash, let's see what comes of it. I do expect Arsenal, not this January, although I would go for a striker this January, I do expect Arsenal to hold out and go for a top striker next summer. That's what I genuinely believe. Now, whether it's going to be Ivan Toney, Evan Ferguson, Victor Osimhen, or another name we haven't even considered yet, I'm not too sure. But strikers are out there. But at the same time, as I've always said, a striker is not a position you skimp on. For me, the striker is the one position on the football pitch where I actually encourage you to spend 80, 90, 100 million pounds. Other times I'd say, look, you can get it for like 50 million, get a decent player there. But when it comes to a striker, I want you to spend at least 80 million pounds because that striker is the difference. If we had Erling Haaland up front, we win the title last season. If we had Ivan Toney up front, we probably win the title last season. Your striker is your match winner. Nothing can substitute a player that will get you a goal every 2 games or more. Nothing can substitute that. When you have a player like that in the locker room, when you have a player that you can bank on, you can put your mortgage on, getting you 20 plus goals a season, and it's not a fluke season, or it's not, oh my god, he's done fantastic, that's when you know you're going places. If Gabriel Jesus got us 20 goals last season, everyone will be going, what a fantastic season. If Gabriel Jesus gets us 20 goals this season, oh my days, what a fantastic season. If Erling Haaland or Harry Kane get 20 goals a season, that's the minimum. You're thinking, yeah, we expected that. Where's the 30 goals a season that we asked for? Do you get what I mean? That's the difference. And I think Arsenal are just that one top strike away from really being considered Premier League title favourites rather than just being Premier League title contenders. And look, whether we get him in January or the summer, I'm not too sure. But Ivan Toney wants the Arsenal move, I do believe. It's all about if Arsenal can go out and get him. That's the main thing. As always, make sure you subscribe if you're new around here on my road to 5,000 subscribers. Please, please, please leave your thoughts in the comment section. Who would you like to see Arsenal sign? Would you like it to be Ivan Toney? Or would you like to see Arsenal target someone else like Evan Ferguson or Victor Osimhen, for example? I'd really love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Drop a like down below so the video gets out to more people in the algorithm. I've been Football. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in. I hope to catch you all in my next video. Take care.